So we're going to be learning about the United States of America. If you don't know about the United States of America, then we're going to learn about it right now. So we're going to learn all 50 states first, from Hawaii to Alaska. So let's begin. Can you tell me what state this one is? What state is the elbow? That one is California. California was a really, really good state up until the 70s, where then it became a very, very expensive state, or started becoming a very, very expensive state. Can you tell me what state this is? This one right here, right there. Oregon. Oregon was also a very, very nice state until it became a very, very expensive state. And now it is also very, very dirty and annoying. But it still looks, nature-wise, quite nice, even though it's speckled with so much trash. Can you tell me what state that one is? This one right here. Can you tell me what state this one is? That one is Washington. Washington is on top of Oregon and California because both Oregon and California need a ton of washing. So Washington is above Oregon and California. Washington. It's also called Washington because it rains a lot. So there's a ton of washing going on as well. It's also called Washington after George Washington, who did not visit that state, but in spirit is in that state because of his last name being Washington. Can you tell me the name of this state? This one right here. This broken square slash, yeah, it's a broken square. It would be Colorado if it wasn't so broken. It's a square. It's Nevada. Nevada is like a desert, except for on the border of California, where it kind of turns into like a really mountainous forest, but then it turns into a desert yet again. That's where Vegas is at. Las Vegas. Do you know what Las Vegas means in Spanish? It means the city of bad deals. So that's Nevada. Then there's Idaho. Can you tell me which one Idaho is between this one and this one? This one and this one. Like this state right now, you can tell from the face right here that it's really judging Idaho, because Idaho's like, I'm Idaho, and Montana's just judging mountainously. Montana has a mountain of judgment, a mountain of geographical judgment to give Idaho. Idaho was named after your mother. Did you know that? It's a historical fun fact. And Montana stares at your mother the way that it stares at Idaho, looking down at it. And now we have Utah. Utah is also known as the state of Mormons. There's a lot of Mormons in Utah, a lot of them. That's where Jesus is coming back. Mormon Jesus is coming back to Utah. So, can you tell me where Utah is? It's right here, underneath Idaho. Did you know, I won't go into it, do you know what soaking is? After talking about Washington and Idaho, it's natural that Utah would be underneath it. Nonetheless, we move along. Can you tell me what state this one is? That one is Arizona. Arizona is also a desert. It's very hot. What about this one? That one is New Mexico. New Mexico is also a desert, and it's very hot. Can you tell me what state this one is? That one is Colorado. Colorado is also kind of following the same footsteps as California and Oregon, but it still has time to turn back, mostly because of the winters there that filter out some of the more seedy behaviors you see in both California and Florida. But unlike Florida, California's extremely and offensively expensive. Meanwhile, Florida tries to be offensively expensive right now, but thankfully everyone still recognizes that it's Florida. Just like California is just California. Now we have up top here is Wyoming, because Wyoming has to be next to Utah and Idaho. So naturally it's going to ask Wyoming. Then we have, that was Colorado, we already covered it. Kansas. We're back in Kansas. Kansas is where The Wizard of Oz took place. I quite like that fact. It's very, very soothing. We also have Oklahoma and Texas. Texas is a very, very big state, borderline its own country. It's huge, and it has a lot of geographical features. Desert areas, waterfalls, beaches, flatlands, mountains. It's all over the place, honestly. Texas is its own little bubble. Then we have Nebraska with the big hammerhead nose for a state little point out. We have South Dakota, and guess what we have on top of South Dakota? North Dakota. Very good, very good. We're no longer in Kansas anymore. We're in Minnesota, the state of breathless events. Now, in Minnesota, what you'll find is the movie Fargo, which I also quite like. Very Canadian state, I must say. Underneath Minnesota, we have Iowa, which is like a state. And then we also have Missouri, which can sometimes be called misery. But their prices definitely do not make one miserable. As the state of Illinois, which now has Chicago, or has had Chicago, might have. We also have the state of Arkansas. Arkansas is not like Kansas, it's its own state. It's pronounced Arkansas because the Arkansas saw. And we have Louisiana, which is practically French and still retains that French heritage. This entire area right here, from Minnesota down to Louisiana over to Ohio, like this entire area right here, is French. It was purchased by the French, but then surrendered by the French during the Revolution. I think before the Revolution, I think King Louis XVI sold all of those lands to make up for the deficit. Anyways, didn't work. Then we have Kentucky, Tennessee, we have Ohio, we have Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia, and now we have all of the teensy tiny little states: Pennsylvania, New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, Connecticut, Rhode Island, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, and I believe we covered them all. Oh, Michigan, the glove, and Wisconsin. I think we covered them all. Yeah. We had a speed run the last couple of states. I hope you remembered them. They will be on the exam. We were running out of time during class. Tell me, do you remember all of the states within the United States? No? You don't think you're quite confident in your understanding of the country? Tell me, do you remember all the states in the United States? Yeah? You're confident you can remember? I'm glad. I'm very glad. As you know, if you fail any exam within the United States, every 10% of points that you lose, you will get a lower grade. So just study up and make sure you're prepared. Okay. Thank you for staying after class. I hope you learned something today.